All right, welcome back, gatekeepers. You're listening to Scored, your ultimate destination for all things beyond the gates. Woo! Wow, what a week in Fairmont, Chris. We knew May sweeps weeks would bring the drama, but nothing could have prepared us for the absolute chaos that just went down. While the Dupree family was getting glamorous for Samantha's long-awaited cotillion, things took a horrific, bloody turn across town. The plasma ring warehouse raid completely exploded, and we have tragically lost a major resident. A diamond in the rough is crowned Platinum Deb. The cotillion has a less than smooth start, while a waltz is happening right in the warehouse. Some of the infamous plasma players find themselves in a bloody mess. Will Garland Memorial and Fairmont Crest ever be the same? Grab your drinks, check your locks, and let's dive into every shocking detail from the week of May 18th.
Maybe check your locks.
Check your locks. Check your locks. Whatever that means for you. Woo! All right. So before we get into what I really, really want to talk about, we're gonna get into this cotillion. Let's get into the cotillion first. And as you can hear, we have our waltz music playing in the background. um, so we have this ongoing drama with Chessie and Samantha and her grandmother Anastasia with her beef with the Duprees and all of this. And then in the midst of that, you have Jessica with her issues with her family that we kind of get some light shed on just a little bit to kind of understand why she works the way that she does. Um, so whenever Samantha comes up, her dress is stepped on and snagged by Francesca, and she trips. She trips in the middle of the cotillion. What are your thoughts about the overall drama between Chessie and Samantha, the Duprees and Anastasia?
It's basic family civil rivalry. It's rooted in probably a lot of missed opportunities being passed over because a particular family was considered to be better than the next family, if you will. Yeah, and I think it's ingrained within Anastasia's family, and it expresses itself in less than healthy ways.
I love the drama that Anastasia brings. I also want to choke her out, but at the same time, I think we talked about this before. I have no idea what it's like to grow up but be behind the gates and to be able to still remain civil and be nice, nasty in the midst of people outright coming for your family members. And so to me, I feel like, oh my, I don't think I could do it. And I think it just goes a bit too far. Um, and so I do think though that Chessie and Anastasia ultimately got their, what do you call it, their karma a bit behind bringing Nathan and all of that stuff that ensued with that young man. I'm really interested to know what is going on with him. Like, does he have some type of family drama, or is it just spoiled brat and entitled? Um, say
No
it.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Okay.
In fact, to be quite honest with you, like he brought a sense of levity. And originally when we first saw him, it was like, ooh, that's like a bad boy.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I thought they were gonna go in a different direction. They ended up not going in that direction, I guess because they wanted to illuminate this. Um, but I kind of see how and why he is the 2.0 of God, dog it. What's his name? The one that's with not Cat but Cat's sister. I'm horrible with names.
Oh,
Eva,
Jacob.
Eva, Eva.
Oh, look at me, cat says something about Jacob. Good lord. um. So ultimately,
Isaiah. That's what I'm thinking of.
how could you look? How could you forget? It's not a snack. That's a whole meal and a high end when they're there. Um, but ultimately Samantha is crowned Platinum Deb. Do you feel like ultimately, in which we haven't addressed this part yet, that it kind of gets or will get overshadowed by what's going on across town and the bloodshed?
Say that one more time.
So with Samantha being crowned Platinum Deb, so we have these two different events carrying being carried out in Fairmont Crest. Do you think her being crowned Platinum Deb will be overshadowed by the bloodshed that's happening across town concurrently?
Well, simple answer, yes. I think because in that particular situation, you're talking about healthcare, you're talking about people abusing the system that is meant to help everyone, whereas a dub is just a formal thing with in which a lot of people see as elitism, if you will. So yeah, no doubt.
So we're gonna put this cotillion to bed momentarily, but overall, um, do you think um that a successful cotillion for Samantha will ultimately change the social hierarchy in Fairmont Crest? Yes, she is a Dupree, but she's not a blood-born Dupree. She comes from, humble beginnings. She's raised with Martin and Smitty, but ultimately, especially in these well-to-do societies, what we gather is they tend to not want to let you forget your past. And so, do you think this will kind of change the hierarchy at all in Fairmount Crest moving forward?
I think what it basically says is that her peers think that she is more of the in crowd, if you will, than Chessie, if you
Mm-hmm.
yeah, than Chessie, and I think it has more to do with her personality. Her personality was such that yeah, I rock with you, versus Chessie. Now that you're doing a little too much, you're doing a little too much, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I think Samantha having that duality um work to her benefit, and she genuinely cares. And so as opposed to, oh, I come from a rich well-to-do family and this is just owed to me. So I think with her the humility is genuine. um but all right. um Whew. So what really, really, really put these episodes over the top, this warehouse drama. Let's get right into it. So, first of all, we know how much I absolutely loathe Jacob as a cop. We talk about it every
Yes,
episode. I am
yes.
I am mayfairing him as a cop. We know that. That's not a secret. So before we even get deep off into the warehouse drama, we brought it up before. The disguise. I am still plagued by him being in disguise undercover. Turning your hat from backwards to forwards is not a disguise. They could have been more thoughtful. They could have gave him some dreads, an afro, a prosthetic, something to set him apart from being, you know, being undercover, especially you're going deep cover, but you're in your hometown. And so I think it was very sloppy for me. With how, and maybe it's just a soap thing, I don't know. But I think it was really sloppy with how they sent him undercover. I did not love that.
So I hear you, but this is where I have to like push back. When he first got into the organization, for the most part, he was dealing with low lives, and that was not the world in which Jacob was accustomed. Right? He and his family, they're all college educated. They hobnob with the most elite family in town. Right? So him going undercover, dealing with the type of people that he'd be dealing with, there would be no assumptions that his look would would necessarily play a part, if you will. Um, they had absolutely no idea that a person like Leah would come into the mix. And so at that particular point in time, it would have been too late for him to change his look. Now, in terms of the cap, like I get you, I feel you, but given the circumstances that he was in, that was just the only thing that he could do, was just to
Oh
hide
no,
his face.
I think on the fly that was a good pivot on the fly, but I still feel like going deep cover, you still are like the DMV can't possibly be that large to where he's doing drops and pickups and all of this stuff in the hospital where he has family ties, right? So to me, I didn't love that piece. Like to me, I still think it was risky. He was still had the proximity. Yes, he's dealing with different types of people that he's no longer interfacing with, but y'all are sending him places that he could easily bump into anyone. And then again, worst cop ever. He's got this burner phone. He's got all these other things going on. So again, we know I'm gonna leave it alone, but just not a fan. But I was happy with his acting in this episode. These episodes, I was happy with his acting. I was not upset. I was not as frustrated as
Which
I've been with.
aspects or which episodes or what
Um,
did you see him do that was like,
so
okay, right, he's acting?
so when you mentioned the turning the hat from backwards to forwards, there was a quick pivot. I thought that was very smart thinking on his feet. Um, Trying to usher Derek out of there very seriously. Derek got on my dang on nerves. We're gonna circle back around to that.
But didn't he always get on your nerves? Like there was never an episode
Derek,
that he didn't get on my nerves.
Derek, no, not a one. I can't think of one. Derek was just dumb. Um, I mean, I don't know another. Okay, I'm sorry. Since I'm gonna behave like I have a couple of college degrees, he was an imbecile. He was an absolute imbecile, and the level of farce displayed by Derek in this episode really pissed me off. But we're gonna get back to that. But ultimately, yes. So I was less frustrated with Jacob his acting because I felt like the emotions were real and raw. Um, and how like again the pivot that he was able to make. So I did enjoy Jacob's acting in these episodes. I'm not gonna lie. Um, so did you expect Leah to show up to that warehouse?
No, the way that they set it up, they were like, nah, she's in a board meeting, all the other good stuff. And then she was just like, man, I want to meet the big dog. That's why I'm here. And I was just like, oh, God, like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, Jacob, Jacob gonna get shot. And I was like, no, it can't be him because it's got to be Derek. But then it was just like, ooh, so it was drama. So I was here for it. I was here for all of that.
I was not expecting Leah to show up, but I'm not, that added an extra layer of chef's kiss, like the drama, the drama, the drama. Meanwhile, you have Randy that's scoping out the scene for whatever reason, and we're gonna get into some theories on the back end of this about who we think the Impaler is. We're gonna get there. Um, but just having uh him there and then just sitting in the back of the police car like with his RPG. I'm like, okay, Randy, what you got going on? Um, so I do love the way that they set up these scenes. Again, completely shocked that Leah showed up. I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is not gonna go well. And I love how instantaneously when Jacob turned around, Leah, because she was talking, I mean, so big for her britches, right? She had plenty of stuff to say, like these low levels basically need to stay in their place. And so this is why last time I was like, okay, Leah's the devil. Leah is the devil. This is not, I'm just a victim. You enjoy the power. You enjoy lording the power over people. You like that. You love that. You feed off it. And so just watching her talk the way that she did, and then for Jacob to turn around for her to instantly crawfish out, hey, you cut me a deal. She went from that bitch to pure bitch.
But you know what? To me, that tells me a lot about her acting ability. Like to go from one extreme to the next in less than a heartbeat. Yes. That was pure gold. That was pure gold. That's why she deserves to remain on this show.
I don't disagree with you. And you said it last time we recorded. Like, nope, I don't know how exactly they may use her. You had some theories, but they're gonna keep her around simply because she's just amazing at what she does. So I don't disagree with you. But seeing her flip like that, I was like, look at this girl. Look at her. Look at her. You went from talking to this man like he was plankton at the bottom of your shoe.
Scum.
So, hey, listen. Let's make a deal. Let's see what's behind door number 2, because I done got myself in some shit. But yes, love, love, love the acting coming from the chief of the hospital, if you will. All right, so let's move forward. Derek, my God. Before we get into everything that falls apart, we have Grayson and Derek that get into this mini standoff. As Grayson is going to do this delivery with the plasma to try to make sure everything goes off without a hitch. And then Derek, being Derek, having all these questions and all of these things. So Grayson says, hey, if I don't do this, then Ashley could be in trouble. How do we feel about Grayson's interaction with Derek at that moment before he shows up to the warehouse? He being Grayson.
How do I feel about Grayson?
Yeah, so when Grayson, when he ultimately just says, hey, okay, look, I'm working with Jacob. I'm doing this. If you don't let me go, Ashley's going to be in trouble. So how do we feel about how he handled that situation?
How he handled the situation, I think he handled it the best way that he could. Dropping her name, I think he felt that he would have backed off in that particular moment, not thinking that he would have followed him. I mean, that was the dumbest move that anybody could make. Like, why the hell would you put yourself in a bad situation? Even if he is lying, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't follow him. If anything, I would have just called the police. Right? That's what I would have done.
It started off dumb. It got dumber. And so I agree with you. I feel like, to me, that was a good move on Grayson's part. I'm sorry. Yes, Grayson's part, because he knew that Derek wouldn't back down. He already had his spidey senses up about who Grayson was. And so I don't think he would have backed off. All right. We have some comments you want to display before we continue?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay. So speaking of dumb stuff, Derek, unbeknownst to us initially, follows Grayson to the warehouse. This is the part where I got increasingly frustrated, and I can't even say that Derek is a victim, because at this point you made the conscious decision, when you see that something doesn't look right, you still walk your ass in there. You see that this is guarded. You sneak in.
Dumb shit.
Then, the minute that Jacob is telling you, you gotta go, you want to have a dialogue, a trialogue. Oh my God. You're consistently, incessantly demanding answers. And so, respectfully, he has done the stereotypical Caucasian thing in this moment, demanding answers and not reading the room instead of just giving. And so I could be upset with the writers for making him this, stereotypical, I have to have the answers. And it pissed me off, because the minute that he's trying to tell you what's up, you had a window to where you could have walked right out of there and kept your life. But you wanted to keep going. Now we got to hide you behind crates. Now we got to do all of this.
Look, listen, I'm going to be honest. The minute he said Jacob's name, I would have. Jacob is a detective. He's got to be undercover. He's been missing, right? He's been gone, right? Yeah, he told us that he was in training, but use your fucking. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we said.
But use your head. If you still have doubts about Grayson, again, call the police. That's all you had to do.
They played things wrong with Derek. It was not his lower extremities that were paralyzed. It was his damn brain that had the full paralysis, because he's stupid. He's stupid. He is absolutely stupid.
Was it his brain or was it his member? I need to know.
Not the lower member.
I need to know.
But it's like, Derek, this is this same shit that Ashley finds a turn off. And so this is not helping your situation. So I'm not going to lie. I was very, very annoyed. But it was right on brand for
him.
It was right on brand. It was like this. I could not have seen you doing anything different as you being yourself. This is just you. So it pissed me off. Um, so at any rate, so um everything is going down. We have the major players that are supposed to show up. Before we even get to that point, we have Leah that shows up. She recognizes who Jacob is. Everything sort of goes left. Ren says, "Hey, we have a rat we need to exterminate." He automatically assumes that it's Grayson, and we go into a full out showdown. So ultimately, we know shots get fired, these things happen. Um, so did you expect Derek to jump in front of a bullet for Jacob? Or did his death catch you completely off guard? Well, I already know the answer to the latter part of the question about his.
So, so no, his death did not catch me off guard because I told you months ago that they were writing him off the show. The fact that given where he was and what he saw, it made total sense to me. Like even I would have done what he did. I don't know if I would have fought for the gun. I probably wouldn't have done all of that. But would I have like thrown those crates on top of the man? Yeah, I probably would have to save Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have done that. But everything else that he did, no. And to be quite honest with you, I wouldn't have been standing up. I wouldn't have been trying to see nothing. My ass would have been crouched down, listening as low to the ground as possible because I know they've got to have guns. So I don't want to get shot. I have to save myself.
Guess what? You're a black man. That's newsflash. For you, that's innate. That is innate. It is innate for you to think that way. I don't think that's not innate for Derek. It's not. That's not. And then it's not even Derek, like a Tommy from what's that show?
Power.
No, he ain't that kind of person. This is Derek, and I'm surprised his name is Derek. He should have been like a Ched or a Chip.
Hunter.
But a Derek, dead last. Wrong, horrible name for him. But anyway, I digress. So I'm just annoyed by his entire presence there, but I like the way that everything played out, not even though, I'm going to say because these events did invoke a lot of emotion, in these episodes and everything. And so I think they were well written for the most part. So do you feel like with Derek perishing will have any effect on Jacob's relationship with the department in a negative way whatsoever?
No. There probably might be an inquiry into why he was there. I don't hear anybody like really talking about that, but the fact that he got involved into the investigation and then ultimately died. I see that being a problem, but everyone in that town, knowing everyone the way that they do, they probably would overlook it because they know the man, and they know that he does dumb shit, basically. So they're gonna, what I'm saying? So they're gonna overlook that. But there's a potential for them looking into.
Okay. All right. So, $1 million question. So we know that the warehouse is compromised, and so there are a bunch of theories, and there are a couple other things I'll ask as well. But who do you think is pulling the strings behind the curtain? Who is our Wizard of Oz? Any of the theories?
That I can't put my finger on. I don't think that it's any of the major players in terms of the cast on the show. I think they're going to bring someone in at low-hanging fruit at this particular point in time, Lynette. I can't think of anyone else that would be doing it. I don't even see, what's his name? Randy. I don't even see Randy being involved because had he been involved, he probably wouldn't have made some of the moves that he made by getting caught. he probably would have already known what was happening and probably would have stayed away and just acted as if he knew what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying? Him getting caught was actually a good thing for him. So I don't think that he's involved. So the only other player is Lynette, unless they bring someone totally new.
There's one that I'm gonna hold on to until we get to that part in just a few minutes. But I've heard a bunch of theories, and a bunch of theories I've kind of had on my own. Like, okay, I've read some of the people's theories about Carlton, and I'm like, Carlton's so boring. I don't know, but he has ties to the hospital. He could have this other side that we don't know about. He always has these mysterious things that he's leaving for. He is a plastic surgeon, so he could be having actual business out of town with his niece or whatever he was doing. But opportunity, right? Access to the hospital. So someone that can kind of play in that world. So that was a theory that I came across. I didn't personally think of Carlton.
That's not a bad theory.
Right, but he does have the time, so I was like, okay, let me chew on that. Then, before I actually looked into some of the theories, someone that on the back end I thought about was Kyle, Nicole's beau. Again, he's from out of town. He has this. I think I read somewhere that they thought Leah may have been his wife, or so to speak. Yeah, I read that somewhere. Because his wife allegedly passed away, that it was Kyle. And so but the only reason why I kind of debunked that theory was because he offered to introduce his kids to Nicole. So I kind of, in my mind, debunked the theory about him and Leah, but that didn't take away the fact that he has access. You know, he's just a little too cool with being very casual with Nicole and going along with whatever, but still kind of being present enough. He's at the hospital, you know, these types of things. So that part, I was like, okay, I wouldn't be surprised. That would be a viable theory. But the whole part about him and Leah actually being husband and wife, I debunked that in my brain, because I just don't, that didn't really track for me.
I actually see Carlton. Carlton would make more sense to me. I think that he would be able to move in and out of those worlds a bit more smooth than Kyle would. Kyle just seems like white refinement, if you will. Whereas Carlton probably grew up just like the rest of us. He's just been exposed to these different things because of his profession, and he's groomed himself to be the man that he is. But I think that, you know, he could flip it if he needed to.
Yes. So I was like, okay, that would be, to me, that would bore me a lot less with Carlton, because it's like, okay, you're almost a little too buttoned up. So now I'm looking at you under a microscope now, like, could it be? So at the very end, we have something that happens that often happens in soap operas, bringing people back from the quote unquote dead. And so let me say this. When you came back looking better than you did before you left.
Okay, I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one.
Oh, and oh my goodness. All right. Woo. We're gonna spin the block on that, because I need, oh my goodness. I don't know if you was drinking your shakes and working out. I don't know, but you came back looking like a whole, just a buffet of fine.
And his suit, he didn't have a different bottom from the top. He actually looked good. The man looked good. His face was felt.
Look, Deanna turned good around like Daddy, but I was like Zaddy.
Now, do you think that this is just her imagination, or is he real?
I thought the same thing. And so I don't know at this point, but I'm really hoping it was not a hallucination, that it was real. And again, with Sweet Sweets, the drama. What perfect monkey wrench, because we never got a real closure, not real closure.
So okay, so is the time for not projections, for whatever you called it,
Wait.
our thoughts,
Oh, the theories.
theories, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so at this point we have not said his name, Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so I did have questions about, how surprised were you, when he showed up on this week's episode. So let's go there first. How surprised from not surprised at all to oh my god.
I'm gonna say it was about I'm gonna say it was about a 5, and the reason I say it's a 5 is because last week you hinted at him, and because you hinted at him, I was kind of like I was looking for it. Okay, had you not hinted, it would have been a 10. It would have been a 10.
Like
Okay.
a dead. But so theories, go ahead, surrounding the impaler and all these other things with Doug's return and all of that. What are your thoughts?
Oh shit. Oh shit. Only because you put Impaler and Doug together. Now I'm like, oh, hold up, wait a minute. Because at one particular point in time, Doug was like, oh, you like the bad guy. What if I could be a bad guy too? And so now I'm like, ooh, if you had not put those two together, I wouldn't even be thinking about that. So that's one thing. Another thing is, okay, if he comes back and they find out that he's alive, then Deanna, her little storyline falls because now she can't blame Joey, right? And then at the same time, the two kids, they're gonna want their mom to be with their dad, but at the same time, their dad lied about his death, right? So why should she want to be with him if you know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of
trauma and
distrust.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's drama. And I love that drama. It's a new kind of drama. Not a new kind of drama, but it's different from anything that I would have expected. So on one hand, he has this one storyline with Vanessa and the kids, and then he has this other storyline where he's the impaler. Oh, this is beautiful. Because if he is the impaler, this is beautiful. That's what I love.
Because he was in debt before his fatal car crash, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's close with Randy. Randy is that guy that just keeps popping up like herpes, right? He's just there. He's everywhere. He's in everything. So he has ties to Randy. Randy saved him before, right? And so I wasn't completely shocked when they brought Doug back. I was not expecting him just yet. But how absolutely perfect during Sweep to go ahead and plug him in and then bring him back looking like a freaking oasis in a dry desert. Oh my God, the man just looked good. So I can't let that part go. But I like the theory of him as the impaler simply because he had ties to the hospital. He has his grimy friend Randy that he grew up with. He's, for all intents and purposes, he's dead. He's not really there. So he's a ghost. No one sees him, right? And so I'm like, oh my God, this would be so good. This would be so good. Now, at what cost? The cost is steep, but still, he was so in over his head with debt.
But at this particular point in time, okay, yeah, he loved Vanessa, but he's been away for so long, and he's been watching their relationship. At what point does he give that shit up and just say, I'm gonna live my life in the shadows, and yeah, I'm coming to Deanna because she seems to be the only one who really cares about me, that kind of shit. And slowly, whatever. I think, honestly, I think he needs to let Vanessa go.
I don't disagree, but now it's more than just Vanessa, because now we have the impaler versus the shady businessman Joey Armstrong, right? And so you're on my turf, but for Doug, it's personal. It's personal. I love Vanessa. At one point we were in love, but now it's personal. You literally tried to, or for what you thought in my life, you screwed my wife. You've becoming close or trying to become close with my son. All the things.
So I have a question because I don't remember because it feels like this happened like a whole year ago. Was Randy involved in killing Doug?
No,
Okay, I didn't think so.
no.
Uh, did Randy know that Joey had Doug killed?
I think Randy, with the proximity, with the knowledge of who his boss is, I think he knew. Because the first time he tried to off Doug or do whatever, or when he was too close to it, where I'm sorry, hold on, let me back up. He threatened Randy's life, right? So I think from that point, yeah, you may be my boss and I'm gonna be compliant on the surface, but I'm still watching you with the side eye. So no, he was not involved in anything to do with Doug. He would not have done it. Wouldn't have done it. The loyalty was still there. And so I think he 100% is a foe of Joey, but I'm gonna play nice because I'm playing the long game. Because I want to be there front and center when you get taken down. And what better way to do it than from the shadows? And then living this double agent type life. I'm still working for you, still showing up, having the compliance piece and all of that. But ultimately, there are things that you don't know about. So, yeah. Ooh, the drama. The drama, the drama, the drama. So at this point, assuming that Doug is not a figment of Deanna's imagination, right? That he's actually been brought back and all of that. How do you think he actually survived the car crash? Or whatever they did? Or is Marcel kind of involved in
I don't
something?
think that he died at all. I don't even think that he was in the car crash. If what you're saying is true, at a certain point, Randy would have gotten wind of what was happening, had someone else in Doug's car, had that person die, put some personal effects on him, all that other good stuff. And then boom, he dies. He saves his friend goes off. Randy sets him up. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, to answer your question. I don't know if I did. I feel like I didn't.
No, 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 no. Right again, that's Randy having the proximity, you know, to be able to get involved at all. Um, and so again, and that brings Marcel in for me, right? Because Marcel is working for Joey. He's doing these kind of side quests because he even mentioned that he wanted to retire Marcel
Mhm.
Malone, get out of the game, and Joey was basically like request
So, but
denied.
hold on, wait a minute. Let's make this clear. You're not saying that Marcel knows what Doug is doing. He's just like a number two to Randy, if you will. But he's the inside man within the police,
Yes,
within the police force. Okay,
yes.
all right. I wanted to make that clear because it sounded like, yeah, it just sounded.
I love it. Just sounded yes. But you have this unique ability to just like Dr. X me and just read my mind. So yes, because in my mind I was coming off clear. It was only clear in my head. But yes, 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 and yes. And so it's like Joey kind of in essence has a lot of people behind the ball by the balls and in his pockets because of that. And so whenever they mentioned or showed that display of Malone wanting to get out of the game and just go ahead and retire, and Joey basically being like request denied, I'm wondering. Um, yes, go ahead.
So I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. We love it.
Different thoughts are like running through my head. What if it sets up, and you kind of mentioned it early on, like after we started talking about the possibility of Doug being involved in this, the Impaler. What if it sets up a situation where we have two villains? We have Doug and we have Joey on this show, and the two of them are going back and forth, and everybody else in Fairmont Crest is just swinging on the balls of these two all throughout. And I think that sets things up beautifully, mostly because it's going to take a whole year for everybody to even realize that Doug is involved in this because, they're just dealing with the trauma that he's still alive. You know what I'm saying? And what does that mean? How does this? And he's probably going to want his job back. And he's, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of taking over where Leah left off. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I think that's gonna that's a lot of drama, and I love it. I hope that they're thinking these kinds of things because what you just said it was mind blowing.
But I am so intrigued. Like, we talked about this last week, and I'm gonna keep referencing last week because I was like, yeah, could have had a V8, and then you reminded me, hey, Sweet Week is coming up. You need these type of fillers, and did that make me feel better? No, it didn't. But it was the truth. Like, okay, because I was like, but they delivered. They delivered, and so it got my little wheels spinning. Like, okay, all right, I'm really
Excuse me.
invested. I'm thinking all of these different things. Like, I don't know. Inherently, I think Joey has some good stuff inside of him. I am not a hater of Joey. I like Joey. I want them to keep Joey around. But I think Joey has put a lot people have put themselves in some compromising situations, taking favors from Joey to where he often has the upper hand. And so, boom, enemies. You have a lot of them.
But here's the thing. I think I don't know why they think what they think of Joey. Not really. Um, I mean, I understand it because he doesn't help himself because having friends was just not his thing. And so because lack of friends means, ooh, you're somebody that I should distrust, all that other good stuff. But at the same time, it seems to me that Joey would only call on those favors if and when Joey needed the favor. And up until now, he has not needed these favors. And so everybody chill out. Like, when was the last time Joey ever asked anybody for a favor on this show? Chill the fuck out.
Listen, I actually empathize with Joey because all them people that showed up on the same day, you got Hawthorne, you got what's the twin brother name? Darnell.
Donnell.
Darnell show up. You have all of these people showing up, but everybody wanting to talk on this day. I'm like, Joey is a saint because I would have shot somebody. I would have shot somebody just because y'all getting on my damn nerves and coming into my place of business, asking dumb questions. Joey is a very patient man, especially, I think he genuinely loves and is in love with Vanessa.
Mhm.
And so off the strength of that, I feel like, you know, Joey's genuinely got a good heart and how he was with Isaiah. It's just two things can be true at the same time.
Mhm.
You can be devilish and you can be benevolent at the same time. And so this is why I am not a hater. I am a fan of Joey. I'm not gonna lie. Fan of him. I like the guy. I genuinely, and he can cook. He can cook.
You can cook.
He can cook. He can. Um, so interested to see where they're gonna go from here. If like you said, hey, was Doug really there, or was Deanna imagining this? I think they would not bring that man back looking that damn good to just park him as a thought. I don't think they'll do it. Whew.
Well, from what I read months ago, he left for mental health reasons.
Hmm.
Which like I get that. Like,
Right.
and I think we talked about it on one of our past shows. And so and I feel like it's been about a year, right? Hasn't it been like about a year?
It feels like it.
So I think after all this time, like clearly he was working out. The man had to have been working out because it looked like he lost some weight and put some muscle on because he was well defined. That man was well defined. I gotta go back and look at it again because when I saw it, I was like, "Oh baby!"
They should have had him on there a little longer. I was mad at the little teaser. I wanted to just freeze right here. Okay.
Yo.
So it's like shout out to the writers and whatever he was going through. I hope that everything is well now. But to see him on screen looking like that, ooh, yes.
Okay, can I change the subject just a little bit?
Absolutely.
What's her name? Ashley? Derek's
Trashy.
ex? Trashley. Okay. Um, I do not like to see her cry. I like every scene. I fast forward. I don't want to see that.
Pause. I'm gonna pause you right here. Simply because I know you. I know your heart. I just know you. I feel like we share a soul, right? Is it the same feeling that you get when you see people chew with their mouth open and toast? When you, I want to know. I want to know because for me, that's gonna solidify the disdain or the absolute grotesque feelings that you harbor toward this particular actress whenever she shows up on the screen. So if you could go ahead and indulge me and let me know if that is something that is the equivalent of what disgusts you about Crashly is when she cries, is it like her chewing or specifically chewing toast with her mouth open?
Yes.
They gonna ban us.
I absolutely hate it. I hate it. Anytime it didn't matter whether she was crying over Derek, whether she was crying over Jacob, not Jacob, the other one. That's
Grayson.
Huh?
Grayson.
Not great. Well, that one too. All her she cried over all her men. Come on now. It's too much. It's too much. And the mama gotta come for all of that every single time. I mean, don't get me wrong, Derek died. That made total sense. But all the others, like you don't need your mama for all of that. We all go have you ever needed your mama for a breakup?
First of not even for a breakdown. No, because you know what I'm gonna get from my mama. We're gonna talk about it off screen. We'll talk about it later. Right. Just if you hadn't realized, I have a black mom. Right. And so I'll let you know what it is that I received from my mom doing a breakup, a breakdown, everything but a breakthrough. She was there.
Oh man, it was just it was too much. It was too much. It was too much, and drawn out. And you got to show all these people coming. And again, a man died. I get that, but this was the third time that we've seen her go on and on and on for several episodes. Why do they feel we care? I don't get it.
Why do they feel we care? Oh, that's so horrible. But true. I will say, oddly enough, I was less annoyed with Ashley in these episodes, and I feel like this was some of the best acting she's done. I honestly, across the episodes, I feel like this was some of the better acting that she's done. She annoyed me significantly less. Am I a fan of Trashley? Nope.
You know what?
Better.
So this is what I think. I think people who don't act all that well, they need to make them, if their character is bad, they need to make them good. If their character is good, they need to make them bad. Why? Because that is going to stretch them. I think when they're not acting good, it's because they're kind of sort of playing themselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So make them act.
That tracks. I don't think that's bad. Again, not a fan, but better than what we've got. But I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Thank you for your service of watching the train wreck that is Trashley act in these past few episodes. You survived.
So that's a horrible service announcement, by the way.
And I'm typically really good at these things.
No, not for you. Not for you. Just the fact that it had to be said. That's what I mean.
Hey, we tell the truth based on our opinion. So anything or we discussed the theories, how much Doug looks like a snack. We didn't really get into Bill and Haley very much. Anything you want to mention there? I know it's kind of like an afterthought. We also didn't see Leslie across these episodes either.
So what I wanted to comment about is the possibility of Nicole becoming CEO of Garland Memorial.
Yes.
I think that is a nice touch. It gives a little bit more credence to her character because right now her character it's kind of surviving off of the actions of others and less about her own actions. And so therefore I think that's a good thing. And then also it sets up a situation where if she is the CEO, can she really truly have a relationship with any of these people?
The drama.
With the possible exception of her ex-husband, because that was a known relationship. That was a known relationship. She can't be in a relationship with either of those doctors because they report to her, right?
Yeah.
So
I love that. What I found was the unmitigated gall of the Duprees. Now, mind you, I'm a fan of Vernon and Anita. It's no secret there. They still had that woman handcuffed to the bed in the hospital. And y'all like, hey, so listen. Who's gonna be the new chief? I'm like, these some true motherfucking politicians. This woman is handcuffed to the bed and like, hey, we think that Shanice's aunt should be the chief. And then I love the pushback from Ted. I don't think it was because he was trying to get in anybody's good graces. I think it was an authentic suggestion to where
I
it's like,
agree.
hey, wait a minute. And
I
so I
agree.
love that.
And his reasoning was sound, especially when he started talking about like the psychological toll that all of this, and Leah kind of set it up when she was talking to Shanice. She was just like, I know that you're going to be one of the ones who are going to kind of like right the ship, and they're going to need you. Yes, that's true. But that's just the nurses. What about the entire hospital community? And then the fact that she's so tied in. Now, what kind of hurt my heart was when the parents were like, "She doesn't want this." No, we
But
wouldn't
y'all
even
didn't,
think about her.
y'all didn't
Um,
even sit down and talk to her. Y'all
that
didn't.
that is your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just dismiss it just because it's coming from Ted, just because you think Ted is trying to get in with her. You're at this particular point, they are doubting his motives when they should be thinking about their own daughter. You know what I'm
Agreed.
saying?
Agreed 100%. I think this was probably one of the only times thus far that I was a little disgusted with the Duprees. Just
But
a little.
it could be said that they were thinking about their daughter. They came up with a plan to go to Ted so that Ted could mention her, because at the end they were like, hey, if this is what you want, then bring it up during the board meeting. Because remember, as their parent, as the parents of Nicole, it would look like nepotism if they offered her.
I do. That tracks. That makes sense. The difference for me though is with the prior relationship and what have you with Ted, they could have just come to him and been candid. Even if they didn't bring it to the board, they could have had an honest conversation with Ted. Hey, we think Nicole would be ideal for this, but that's not how they came in. And so it's not like you bringing it to the board and to everybody else. No, I think y'all came in with Nicole being an afterthought.
But here's the question: is Ted that kind of person? I've not seen him be that type of duplicitous type of person, other than the fact that he had an affair. I've not seen him be duplicitous. I've always seen him be kind of upfront.
Right. No, 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 no. And so I'm not discrediting Ted, just saying like, hey, this is our ex-son-in-law. We can be honest and say what we're really thinking and not have to
No, I
worry.
get you, but at the same time, what would be going on in Ted's mind is,
Just being direct.
yeah, like this need to be direct, but at the same time, it's these two people who he respect. They're coming to him about a situation that, to be fair, he said he was thinking about it himself, right? And so it just probably would have put him in a bad situation, and knowing them the way I think I know them, they probably wouldn't have wanted him to be put in that situation.
Fair. That's fair. I am proud though that he did say something. And so whether or not this was a grand ploy of the Duprees to ultimately bring this and make it seem like Ted's idea, that would be genius. Or not, it remains to be seen. But I do love that theory that it's just like, hey, um, let's go in here and make it seem like it was his idea the entire time. So.
Now, here's my criticism. The show is becoming too hospital centric or medical show centric. I don't know how I feel about that. It becomes more General Hospital and less Young and the Restless. And I want it to be more Young and the Restless.
Listen, I want it to be young, middle age, old, sexy as hell, fashion forward, all the things. But dead last, a hospital centered show, no, absolutely not. And so again, you've mentioned it several times. When are we gonna get this courtroom drama? When are we gonna see the inside of something other than orphans?
I think it's coming. I think it's coming, especially with Leah's testimony. There's a possibility because she said, "Hey, I don't want to talk to you until I talk to my attorney." And if she's smart, she's gonna play that out and she's gonna wait until she testifies. Because right now, if she keeps her mouth shut, the impaler is not gonna be looking at her, right? If she waits until she gives her testimony, then there's a possibility that the impaler would be caught off guard.
Okay, that's fair. I'm really hoping, I can't let it go, for this courtroom drama scene something. And again, we didn't get much Leslie, much Haley and Bill across these episodes, just kind of some little peeks here and there. So I'm interested to see if they're going to be a little more heavy on that next week, and see if Haley's days are numbered and what that's going to look like. But overall, rating of May 18th, week May 18th episodes, your overall rating.
I'm going to give it an 8. It's a solid 8. And I think we've talked about it ad nauseum about why I think it was an 8. The low points, the reason why it didn't reach a 10, Derek.
Ashley. He died and he still didn't get an 8. It's crazy.
No, I love the fact that he died. Rest in peace. Rest in power. But for the drama of it all, like, it was just his actions. It was just like, oh, you getting on my nerves, you're getting on my nerves. Ashley, you getting on my nerves, you're getting on my nerves, all that other good stuff. I did not care for that at all. It was, like I said before, fast forward.
And so oddly enough, and we rarely have the same exact rating, and I do mean rarely. It may be a point, a decibel off or so, but for me, this was an 8. This was the exact number that I had in mind. One, there was the drama, it started with the Cotillion and all of the kid drama and all these other things going on. And then, you got the annoyance piece from Derek and Trashley, all of that going on. That kind of really just worked my nerves, just a bit more than I would have cared for. But ultimately, there was some great acting going on that evoked some emotions. And so I did love that piece. I love them bringing back that Doug as a fine version of himself. I really feel like that tipped the scales a lot for me. One, because I didn't see it coming yet. I theorized about it, didn't see it coming yet. And so that helped. So for me, across the week of May 18th, it's a solid 8 for me.
That's what up.
All right. Anything else that we did not have? Okay. All right. Well, listen, it's a strong 8 from us. And so that's it. We're going to go ahead and close the gates for this evening, but we will be right back in Fairmont, Crest, next week. And so join us. And so do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you later, gatekeepers.
We've got questions and we know you have answers, so make love to our senses in the comments. Drop them down below.